Hello, water signs. How are you doing? This is going to be your first 2 weeks of November reading. So we're going to take a look into the cards, see what's in store for you. This is for your sun, moon, rising, and Venus. So if you have Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces in any of those placements, and this reading could be for you, please remember it's general and only take what applies. Okay, never give your power away to a reading because you always have the opportunity to make different choices and change your timeline at any time. Okay, the power is always in your hands, not in the reading. So without further ado, water signs, let's jump into your reading and find out what's in store for you for the first 2 weeks of November. Okay, we're going to be taking a look into my sacred geometry deck, and well, there we go, right out of the gate, real fast. Love it, water signs. You're efficient today. Okay, you got your divine masculine coming in, the divine masculine energy. It's interesting. This is Scorpio season for all you Scorpios out there. The frequency of divine masculine supports our strong, focused, and active side, allowing it to express itself while helping us to bring our dreams and ideas into form with kindness and wisdom. Expressing itself, expressing itself. I don't know why. That's really just sticking with me right now. Okay. Water signs. Looks like your action, communication energy is wanting you to be really aware of for the first 2 weeks of November. So this idea of bringing in a lot of structure, a lot of protection around what's important to you, making sure that your dreams take form. There may be things that need to be said. Okay, well, if you all watched my last video, you know what I'm talking about. So I had no problem saying what I needed to say. Okay, we have the Gnome, Mickle, a Muckle who've come out here. Mickle, a Muckle. So Mickle, a Muckle is all about, like, to me, I just always think inner child. Okay, it's a childlike energy. It's about the joy. It's about, you know, setting yourself free from the restrictions, which is interesting because the divine masculine wants you to, like, put structure and protection around things, but maybe there is a need for that so, like, you can really let go. Like, do you have certain things in place that you could allow yourself to just play? It comes out with the Gnome as well. I'm going to go into those cards in a second, though. I want to pull a couple more cards for you, water signs. Wow, your cards are just flying out, water signs. Okay, there is some inner child stuff going on with you water signs for the first 2 weeks of November. Like, you got the Maiden. Now, the Maiden is a very auspicious card. It's the most auspicious card in this deck. Something is in the works for you. Something's kind of like bubbling. Oh, they just showed me like a cauldron, kind of like, you know, when they're just stirring and you look over and it's like something bubbling, but you can also see the future in it, kind of stuff. Yeah. Okay, so let's just see one more. Oh, your cards. Okay, this is awesome. Like I told you, you guys are efficient. You know what? Your masculine energy is already coming through in this reading. I love it. So you have Oh, That Gnome coming out as well. Okay. Let's go into the book. I really want to go into actually Oh, That Gnome first. Just curious here. Okay, so Oh, That Gnome. Let me bring him up here so you guys can see. Okay, so the kind of the key words here for you when this card comes out are like trickster energy, creative chaos, wild gifts, breaking habits and patterns. Creative chaos and wild gifts are standing out to me a lot. Let's see here. The gnome, this gnome, Oh, That Gnome, tells wild and wonderful long-winded stories complete with demonstrations of the action and much arm waving and online group. Okay, so he's very like animated in his talks and loves excess when he's telling a story, so to speak. If the gnome breaks a vase, the pieces will fall into patterns of great significance and meaning, but it is up to us to read and understand it. He is the potentially constructive force of chaos. I love it. Okay, so it's time to leap into the air, letting the earth turn beneath you and discover where you come down again. Reasonable risks are okay. Even unreasonable risks are okay. Okay, water signs. It's time to take some risk, is what's really coming through here, because you've got two fun energies coming up, okay, with the maiden and Mickle. You've got the divine masculine. It's all about like going for it, right? It's your action energy. And let's go into the loam, because the loam, I believe, it's like all about like unconditional love. Let's see here. Yeah, unconditional giving, unconditional receiving. So, oh, water signs. This is all about you, okay? The first 2 weeks of November are all about you. You want to be given and receiving to yourself is what this reading is about. It is all about you taking risk, but also having that playfulness in there, like, you know, like taking risk with joy, taking risk with fun, like, you know, going outside the comfort zone a little bit is what I'm getting for you, water signs, for the first 2 weeks of November. And really giving to yourself so that you can receive. So this is like, you know, you could go through where you're giving to others, but then allowing yourself to receive as well through your own work. That could be this, but I'm getting more of like this is you constantly giving and receiving to yourself. So give to yourself so you can receive whatever it is that you need to receive. Like, and I'm getting a sense when you have these two energies here kind of coming up, that this is all about you just giving your inner child what he or she wants for the first 2 weeks of November. Like, whatever that inner child is calling out to you, okay, and wants, like, it's time to kind of give that and really nurture the inner child within you. Really bring through a fun aspect, a lightheartedness. Now, with the maiden, I also want to go into her a little bit here because she's very auspicious, okay? She signifies new beginnings, new growth. You couldn't ask for a more auspicious card. Spontaneity, joy, growth, okay? Like, yeah, spontaneous. It's time to be spontaneous. Okay, water signs, like there is no like sitting on your laurels for the first 2 weeks of November. Like you really want to be out there having fun, taking some risks, getting animated. Like go and like, you know what, if you don't have a story to tell animated and arms flying all over the place, like create one. Create your life, make your life like a really animated adventure. Like that's kind of really the energy that I'm getting. It's really fun, actually. I actually have Cancer as my rising, so I'm going to have to follow some of this advice for the last 2 weeks of November, or the first 2 weeks of November. Why do I keep wanting to go to the end of November? You know why? Because there's a major event happening galactically in November, and I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about that in my alchemy program, but I'm also going to do a video on it for you guys who are not in it. Obviously going into more detail with the alchemists. So, okay, going into the tarot for my water signs, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What messages do you have for them? Too many cards, okay. What messages do you have for them? For the first 2 weeks of November, what do they need to know here? So you're embarking on something new. There's something new that wants to really root and take form here. But I'm getting the sense in order for it, oh, we've got some cards that have flipped out here. Okay, so this kind of came up in your pre-shuffle. Interesting. So the Three of Swords in reverse, okay, and the Sun in reverse. Okay, so the Three of Swords in reverse is all about releasing heartache, okay? It doesn't necessarily mean from like an intimate relationship. It could be heartache from the past, heartache from a relationship with a family member. It could be just heartache over the loss of something in your life that was really meaningful to you. And with the Sun in reverse, the Sun in reverse is not a bad card to me. I never read it as a negative. What it means to me is that there's a perception that things are worse than they actually are. But but they aren't that bad, but they're being perceived as. So there may be a need to look at something in a new perspective, something where you may have lost something in the past or feel like you've lost something that's kind of brought like some sadness in or heartbreak around. Yeah, something that just kind of hurt your heart. But it's not as... I'm wondering if like you're feeling pulled to the past more and it's kind of weighing you down a little bit, and then you got all this like really lighthearted energy that really wants you to kind of lift your soul, lift you up. And I think it's because when you have the sun here, okay, in reverse, things aren't that bad. It's just a matter of needing to shift the perspective and look at your abundance and how can you change this how can you change this perspective or shift the energy so that you're moving back into this flow of joy is kind of what's kind of coming through for you guys. Okay. Your cards are just ridiculously flying out everywhere. Like, okay. You have the Knight of Wands in reverse. Ooh, feeling a little reversals here, water signs. We're getting a lot of reversals. Are you feeling upside down? Are you feeling like releasing? Or maybe it's a releasing feel, like really feeling the need to release something. Let it go. Okay, what other energies here? Three of Wands. Okay, water signs, you're getting all reversals. We're going to have to address that because that is interesting. So we have, you got the Knight of Wands in reverse, the Five of Swords in reverse, the Seven of Swords in reverse, and then you got the Three of Wands in reverse. What is going on here, water signs? Okay. Let me just take a look at this and see what's going on here. Okay, let me just see. Because there's actually some really positive things coming out of these reversals for you. With the Knight of Wands in reverse here, again, this is showing like a lack of confidence in something. Like, you know, the Knight of Wands energy, it's kind of... It is actually quite spontaneous, the Knight of Wands energy. And so to me, when I'm seeing that, it's like there's a lack of spontaneity here. That you, like, I think you've kind of gotten into some rut of like caught up in the mundane activities of life and not injecting enough fun is what I'm really seeing when I see that Knight of Wands in reverse. Like there's a lack of spontaneity here. And you have the Five of Swords in reverse, which is a great thing, you know. It could be like, okay. With the Five of Swords in reverse, this is about just not wanting to go through the battle anymore, you know, like wanting to walk away. There might be some sort of, yeah, like there's some sort of inner battle going on here that has to do with some like heartbreak, okay, sadness, loss, something like that, okay, some sort of grief. With all these reversals coming up, I'm getting the sense that this is past energy though. Like there's a lot of past energy, like this has to deal with something from your past. It could have something to do from your past as a child, to be quite honest, because we have a lot of child energy coming up along the top of the spread. So that may be worth some of you looking into, but wanting to walk away from this battle of the past, this battle energy of like things kind of holding you back. The Seven of Swords in reverse. You know, the Seven of Swords is all about like kind of returning to the scene of the crime. Oh, whoa. Okay. Oh. Oh. So, water signs. The message is for you to return to the scene of the crime, basically. Like, go back into like whatever this heartbreak is that you may have thought you let go of, you thought you dealt with, maybe you haven't, and it's time to really like let it go, like heal it, just kind of nurture it. I have this sense it may have something to do with either you as a child in the past or like the spirit of your childlike energy. Okay, somehow that got like squashed. And it's not allowing you to, it's not allowing what you want to manifest to come in. Okay, so it's time to go back to the scene of crime, because otherwise you're just not gonna like pull like what that. So there's something here that wants you, something here over the next 2 weeks that really wants your attention to look into. That's kind of holding you back from letting all of the things you've been working hard on to kind of come through. It's almost like taking the lock, like they're showing me a padlock, and just like you just need the combination, and then all the chains drop and everything is set free. Okay, what other messages do we have here? No wonder you guys need some like fun right now. This energy is really heavy, but it's necessary at the same time. Like, it's necessary for you to kind of just get really honest. Okay, this idea of express. So you may need to express something to someone if this involves another person. You may just need to express it to yourself. Like, you may just need to say stuff out loud, you know, like creating a YouTube video like I did. Okay. What else? What other messages do we have here for water signs for the first 2 weeks of November? What else do they need to know? All right, so we finally got some upright cards for you, water signs. We have the Temperance, the Page of Swords in reverse, and then the Chariot card. All right, so beautiful. Okay, so with the Temperance card coming up, with the Page of Swords in reverse. Page of Swords in reverse. Someone. Okay, so pages, I shouldn't say always, I don't always, but the Page of Swords often mean to me also child energy, inner child too. Okay, that applies. Well, inner child is unable to express itself right now. That is the overwhelming message that's coming through. And with this Temperance card, okay, and then the Chariot kind of coming out with it all together. Sorry, oh my God, I hope I'm not giving you guys Blair Witch Project syndrome on the camera. So the Temperance card, so I'm getting a different read off the Temperance card than what the actual tarot meaning is. I'm going to go with what's intuitively coming in for you guys. I'm feeling like the inner child feels like it's underwater and it needs a spark of life. Okay, when you look at her, okay, I know the Temperance card is all about balance and moderation, balancing water and fire, okay, like the emotions, like the feminine energy, the masculine energy, all that great stuff. But more what I'm kind of getting is like the inner child can't express itself. It feels like it's underwater and it needs a spark of life. That's just the message I'm getting. And then you have like the Chariot card coming forward. So it's time to like activate the inner child, activate that energy of inner spirit of child, okay? So the childlike joy, bring it to the forefront, because that's what's actually, not only do you need to activate it, because that's what's going to get things moving for you. That's what's going to put you back in the flow. That's what's going to take this 3 of Wands, okay, and turn it upright for you so that things can start coming in for you. It's almost like I see things for you, water signs, like they're already created in the energetic realms, okay? They're already like, and they're kind of hanging around. They're hanging around. They're all like having this party. You're like, okay, like when are we going to be loud into the party? Like hanging outside the party doors, you know, like waiting, like when is the host going to let us in? And it's like you are gonna by allowing yourself to go back into the childlike flow, okay, of life, of like just really being in the flow of nature's abundance and joy again, that all of a sudden like you open the party door and you're like, okay, everything I've been working so hard on, you can come on in now and join the party. Like that's kind of what I'm getting for you. One last card here for water signs. Jeez, oh my God, it's so many cards. You know what, we're gonna take them. I'm just gonna like read them all to you. Screw it. So you have this Queen of Pentacles in reverse, the Six of Swords in reverse, and the Seven of Cups in reverse. And then you have the Fool and the Wheel of Fortune, okay? This is pretty obvious about what's waiting for you, okay? New beginnings, new growth, okay? You talk about the Maiden, the auspicious cards of new growth waiting for you, the Wheel of Fortune, things just waiting to turn in your favor, things finally feeling like they're moving again, okay? Like that, the movement coming back in. Okay, that's where this is all going. But you have this Queen of Pentacles energy, which is, okay, the Queen of Pentacles to me, she's very mother-like. She's a nurturer, okay? She's in reverse. And so there's this lack of nurturing, okay, of your child, like the inner child of yourself. And you're stuck in these kind of turbulent waters place, like you're kind of stuck, not able to move forward, like not move on to the new destination, okay? And it's this idea of like the Seven of Cups talks about like the cups of illusion. It's in reverse. Usually it just means about like finally getting, like, to me, when the Seven of Cups is in reverse, it just means like you have a little bit more clarity. So it's this idea of needing to get more clarity on what it is most important to you right now. Where are your priorities? Have you abandoned certain things that are of like, you know, important to you, priority to your own well-being, your own heart's joy? Okay, so I'm getting this message that some of you have attended to so many other things that you've avoided the one thing that really needs your attention right now, and that's just the joy, that spirit of living. That's kind of what that card's saying. So, water signs, first 2 weeks of November. Sounds like you got some stuff to work through, but it sounds also like you get to do it in a really fun way. Like the messages here are it's very clear to me, very, very clear. So I hope this was helpful for you. I hope that the messages resonate or land. And remember, just take what applies. I love you guys all. And if you need any more information, all that is down below in the description box. I love you. Have a wonderful first 2 weeks of November.